Hello, Stockton University. I'm Jackson Boisvert.
And I'm Colin Van Cleve, welcoming you back to The Nest. We have an interesting show for you tonight discussing the controversial topic of gun control. You'll get our take on that, plus a sneak peek of my interview with James Robillata.
So get ready, Stockton.
You have just entered The Nest. James Robillata came to Stockton to speak to Stockton students about college and leadership experience and how it's shaped him to lead imperfectly. It was truly enjoyable, I have to say for myself. He's a very charismatic guy.
In 1,969 minutes, Stockton Give, a fundraising marathon, raised a total of $101,949 for the scholarships, athletic team, and the Student Relief Fund. Turn to the front page of the Argo for the full story.
Michael Heilman talks about the professional soccer team coming to Atlantic City. The team will be sponsored by Stockton University, and we're very proud of that. They'll be playing their home games at the G. Larry James Stadium, beginning on May 5th, 2018, against the Nebraska Bug Eaters. And I fact-checked this, so believe me, there actually is a team out there in Nebraska that's called Nebraska Bug Eaters. You can find this article on page 1 of the Argo.
Looking for an internship opportunity? Look no further than the Washington Center internship offered by Stockton. With this program, you'll be able to spend a semester in DC, taking classes and participating in a professional work environment for 4 days a week. Find out full details through www.twc.edu or contact Dr. Michael Rodriguez.
On February 14th, Douglas High School experienced what came down as the deadliest school shooting in American history, claimed the lives of 17 people when 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz opened fire. Since then, the controversial topic of gun control has heightened American life and politics. Now, the reason I bring this up, Jackson, is because the topic of gun control has heightened, just like every shooting it does. Having said that, do you think we should use the Australian system and their gun laws as a model for American life? What's your take?
Well, personally, I feel in America, the topic of gun control is at like a boiling point. There has been so much happening, so much events, and all we say after is never again, never again, never again. So it's very appropriate that people are finally opening up and realizing that we really do need change. Now, the way gun control works in Australia is they had one bad mass shooting, and the government bought back a lot of different guns from the people that they didn't feel were fit. They bought it back and they destroyed them. Now, in order to have a gun in Australia, you have to get a gun permit and you need to find what they define as like a legitimate reason. And I think that works. If you want a hunting rifle to go hunting, would you be opposed to just going through some extra vetting just to make sure that it's safe?
I definitely think that background checks are a necessity. There definitely needs background checks. Definitely people who are fugitives or who are, mentally unstable, they definitely should not have the possession of any kind of weapon, in my view. Having said that, though, I think the proper action right now is definitely what President Trump did with Mitch McConnell, who's trying to push for the regulation and total ban of bump stocks. And I think bump stocks is where the question lies right now, as far as gun control. Bump stocks, there's no need to have a pop, 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 pop all the way, just machine kind of gun style. There's no need for that in my view. But with bump stocks, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
But I think the question lies in regard to Florida is that there were a lot of security failures. The police, they really didn't get it there in time, the cause of the 17 dead. But President Trump also talked about arming teachers. What's your take on that?
Well, personally, when I was in high school, our school system did a very good job at making sure that everyone entered in school safely. We had police officers in the morning, police officers at night when students and faculty were entering the school, leaving the school. And you could only enter the school through the front, where you had to be buzzed in if it was past, the start time for school. Now, with arming teachers, I feel like that's a lot of extra steps and a lot of thought that maybe shouldn't be put so much, and a lot of responsibility that you're placing in a teacher. I think personally, if you want to protect the school, have protection. Police officers, better security. Yes, it is a cost of money, but schools will find ways because their top priority is the children, educating the children, protecting the children. And if they're not doing the absolute most to do that, then what are they doing with all that money?
I definitely agree that I think it's sad that we have to come to this, that we're already talking about arming teachers and all that. It's definitely, of course, not, in my opinion, the worst idea I've ever heard, but I don't think we should be there just yet. That's where I disagree with the president. I think that, educators are there to educate, not to be trained how to shoot a gun and do that, but definitely, again, not the worst idea. Having said that, though, I definitely do agree. There definitely needs to be a security heightened. I think that it should almost kind of be like airports at this time, to where there has to be checkpoints when you come in through the front. Metal detectors. I've heard a lot of people brought up that. It's sad, again, that we have to come to this, but because I know people talk about that, the schools, they shouldn't be as prisons or airports. This is a school. Well, yes, this is a school, but it's sad that a lot of this stuff is happening. So how do we deal with it now? That's how we deal with it.
Well, there really is no such thing as being too safe. So even though it is sad that we are coming to this point, it's better to go through with changes, to make change, because obviously what we have input is not working. Look at this last incident at the high school, Pulse nightclub, San Bernardino. There has been shootings on top of shootings, and there's not a stop to it yet. So when things pile up, you have to do something about it.
I look at the issue too, also with, I know people hate bringing it up, but mental health. And I look at a mental health issue to where what really drives these kind of people to commit such a horror? Because I know people hate hearing this, but it's not the gun that shoots the people, it's the person behind it. And of course, there's a lot of gun owners in America who own guns, and even AR-15s for that matter. But you don't see them committing such horrifying acts like Nicholas Cruz did and like many others did. So my question is really how can we improve mental health in the United States, and how can we really help these people before they really start committing such horrifying acts?
Well, mental health is a big issue, a big controversy in America that many people are advocates for improving upon it. Yet I do not agree with you on the fact that this is a mental health issue, this is a gun control issue. While there are many law-abiding Americans who do own guns, there are some that get them either either legally or illegally, but they're not doing law-abiding things with them. So I think this, at its core issue, has to deal with tightening what you need to do in order to get a gun. Whether you get it illegally or legally, there needs to be more vetting, and I think there needs to be more security on it.
Definitely illegally, it's definitely not good. And this isn't a political issue. This is an American issue. This is a human issue. This is disgusting of what's going on, and I think it's really important that all of us, and especially our government, needs to really crack down on this and figure out a real solution to the problem.